Do I have a motion to reconvene in open session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
The board is now in open session. Madam Clerk, would you please read the resolution certifying the closed session?
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the school board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which the certification resolution applies, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the school board.
Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
Make the motion to adopt the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. Is there a motion regarding the student matters?
In case number 2024-25/1RE, 2024-25/2RE, 2024/25/3RE, 2024-25/4RE, it is recommended that the superintendent's recommendation be upheld.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. Is there a motion regarding the first personnel matter?
In case number 2024-25/01-HR, it is recommended that the superintendent's recommendation be upheld.
Is there a second?
Second the motion.
Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto. Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. Is there a motion regarding the next personnel matter?
In case number 2024-25/02-HR, it is recommended that the superintendent's recommendation be upheld.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the August 13th, 2024 School Board Business Meeting to order. Before we begin the meeting this evening, I would like to thank everyone for attending and remind the audience that comments to this board may only be made at the podium during the public comment period. Comments from the audience are prohibited and are in violation of Section 18.2-415 of the Code of Virginia, Disorderly Conduct in Public Places, and School Board Policy 6141. I appreciate everyone's patience and understanding so that we can conduct the business meeting in an orderly fashion. We'll now have an invocation by Ms. Coker, followed by the flag salute led by Mr. Pronto.
Before tonight's invocation, I would like to recognize with a moment of silence the passing of Cheryl Cassidy, an instructional assistant for special education at A.M. Davis Elementary School, who joined CCPS on September 6, 2004. George Garrett, a former bus driver from Area 3 Transportation, and Veronica Jones, an annual substitute who joined CCPS on January 12, 2017. I would also like to lift up prayers for the First Baptist Church of Centralia on the passing of Pastor Shannon. He was very supportive of CCPS in the community. Please join me in a moment of silence. Gracious and loving Lord, as we commence this new year, as we come before you in prayer. We thank you for guiding us through this school board meeting and seek your wisdom as we begin this new school year. Bless our decisions and actions as board members so that they may align with the greater purpose of fostering a nurturing learning environment. Grant us the strength to face challenges and make transformative choices for the benefits of our students. We ask for your guidance in building a united and collaborative board where diverse perspectives are respected and valued. May our interactions be filled with empathy, understanding, and a shared commitment to educational excellence. As we embark on this new school year, we pray for our students, teachers, parents, and community to have a productive and exciting school year. We pray that our work tonight and throughout the school year is in the best interest of our students, teachers, and staff, parents, and community. Amen.
Please join us at this time for the Pledge of Allegiance.
This evening's consent agenda includes the agenda adoption, approval of the minutes of the June 4, 2024 work session, June 4, 2024 business meeting, June 11, 2024 work session, June 17, 2024 special meeting, August 1, 2024 special meeting, August 6, 2024 special meeting. Memo number 100-24, recommended personnel actions. Memo number 101-24, FY 2025 acceptance of new grants. Memo number 102-24, FY 2024 acceptance of new grants. Memo number 103-24, 2025 health and dental contracts. Memo number 104-24, review and approval of FY 25 tuition rates for non-resident students. Memo number 105-24, approval of addition to students' fee schedule for 2024-25 school year. And memo number 106-24, appointment of members to school board advisory committees. Are there any additions or corrections to the consent agenda?
Madam Chair, there are no additions or corrections to the consent agenda.
Are there any requests from a school board member to separate an item from the consent agenda for discussion or individual action? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye, the motion carries. Mr. Smith, would you please announce our new administrators?
I could ask David Altizer, Patty Fox, and Tony Kilpatrick to come forward this time. Madam Chair, board members, with your action this evening, you've appointed the following. David Altizer was approved as the principal of Clover Hill High School effective July 1, 2024. Most recently, he received his Master's of Educational Leadership, K-12 Principal Leadership from Lamar University. He also just recently served as the principal, associate principal, and assistant principal at Manchester High School, Manchester Middle School. Patty Fox was approved as the Director of Research and Evaluation effective August 1, 2024. She received her Doctor of Philosophy, Educational Leadership, and Public Administration from VCU. Most recently, she served as the Coordinator of Research and Evaluation, Educational Data Research Specialist. In addition, Tony Kilpatrick was approved as the principal, Manchester Middle, effective July 22, 2024. Most recently received a graduate certificate in Educational Leadership and Policy Studies from the University of Richmond. She previously served as the K-12 History, Social Studies, Instructional Specialist for Powhatan County Public Schools. Please join me in congratulating these administrators.
Next, we have awards and recognitions. Mr. Smith.
If I could ask our School Board Advisory Committee members to come forward this time. Advisory committees established by the Chesterfield County School Board are one way that community members connect with their local schools. Advisory committee members are appointed from each of the county's 5 magisterial districts and include parents, teachers, staff members, students, and the other community members interested in helping Chesterfield County Public Schools achieve its mission and vision. The Chesterfield County School Board wishes to thank those who have fully completed their terms of service on the board's various advisory committees. As you can tell, a number of people could not attend this evening. However, we do want to recognize all of those who are departing. From the CCPS Audit and Finance Committee, Dr. Chandra Kane, Dale District, and Tony Fuller, Matoaca District. From the Environmental Stewardship Advisory Committee, Eugenia Grandstaff, Bermuda District, Andrea Hassenfuss from the Clover Hill District, and Nicole Rowland from the Dale District. From the Gifted Education Advisory Committee, Colin Ennis, CCPS Administrator, previously Midlothian Middle School, Amy Snow, teacher, Carver Middle School, Anna Redding, counselor, Cosby High School, Levi James, student member, Thomasdale High School, And from the School Health Advisory Board, Christina Turner, Clover Hill District, and Danielle Meister, student member, Janesville High School. Please join me in congratulating the School Board Advisory Committee members.
So, as is my tradition, I have a poem for you guys. Through the highs and the lows, your spirit and strength it always shows. With every task, your dedication was a beacon of inspiration. So thank you for your contributions, great and small, for in your presence we stood tall. With gratitude we honor you, and thank you for the work you do. Thank you. Now I have one thing for you guys if you want to. The best thing about serving on the committee.
I just liked getting to hear from a lot of really smart people, a lot smarter than me, and just get to be able to contribute in some way.
I enjoyed, I served on the School Health Advisory Board for 6 years, and I really enjoyed listening to the diverse viewpoints and really where we came together for the betterment of student mental health.
I served on the, I can't even say it, Environmental Stewardship Advisory Committee since it started, and I think just learning a lot was the best part of it.
I, as well, served on the ESAC, and the best part for me was meeting with the staff members and getting to see all the behind-the-scenes, really thought that goes into everything that the school board is looking to do, and that how hard the staff is working to really achieve those goals that the community has.
If I could ask Matt Strittmatter to come forward at this time. Elizabeth Davis Middle Principal Matthew Strittmatter has been named the 2024 Outstanding Middle School Principal of Virginia by the Virginia Association of Secondary School Principals. The association annually recognizes outstanding school leaders who succeed in providing high-quality learning opportunities for students. Dr. Strittmatter has led Elizabeth Davis Middle since 2019, previously serving at the Fallen Creek Middle as an associate principal, assistant principal, dean of students, and English teacher, department chair. Please join me in congratulating Matthew Strittmatter.
So I have been waiting for several months to do this recognition. Dr. Strittmatter, first I want to start because I looked up the definition of a principal. One who leads, inspires, and encourages teachers, students, and staff. A motivator who focuses on goal setting and accountability to create an amazing school community. They build character, inspire dreams, encourage creativity, build confidence, instill the love of learning, and change lives. And you have done that for all the students at Elizabeth Davis Middle School. And I'm going to say for all the students of CCPS, you are an amazing administrator. And I'm so thankful that you are in the Bermuda district. And just congratulations. Congratulations for all this. Yes.
Means the world. I appreciate you.
You want to say anything?
I'll say one thing, because we're about to start a heck of a school year, right? And so it's all about teachers, it's all about kids, it's all about community. The more we connect, the more we push forward, the better off everybody's going to be. Really excited about 24-25. Go CCPS. Thank y'all.
Now you see why he won. Amazing.
If I could ask our Food and Nutrition Services team to come forward this time. Congratulations to our Food and Nutrition Services team and its Summer Farmers Market lunches for winning recognition from the Virginia School Board Association. Earlier this year, the initiative also won national recognition from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. In the VSBA's annual Food for Thought competition, CCPS won the top award for school systems with more than 10,000 students in the Meal Access to Fight Hunger category. Starting in the summer of 2023, the team has served free, delicious, fun lunches at the Chesterfield Farmers Market. Each summer menu is planned with a child's palate in mind, with the goal of providing fresh items with pizzazz. For example, meals included marinated sliced cucumbers, chilled corn salad, grilled zucchini, chunks of melon in a honey dressing, smoothies, etc. Please join me in congratulating the Food and Nutrition Services team.
There's quite a lot that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to nutrition for not only our students but our staff. And I have had the privilege of attending many of these events in which, in particular, our students have provided the course meal. And I have not yet had a bad meal at CCPS. And we greatly appreciate what we're doing in the community and with the farmers market, the recognition and the awards from the VSBA, as well as local and state recognition. Goes a lot to say the behind the work scenes. The awards are great, but that's not why you're doing it. You're not doing it for the awards. You're doing it for our community and for our kids. And so on behalf of the school board, I'd like to congratulate you on this prestigious award. And just a few moments, if you'd like, to introduce yourself and your passion behind what you do.
Hi, I'm Ronnie Lapel, and I'm the marketing specialist, and I love putting down on paper all the great work that this department does. Casey had this amazing vision last year, and together with our director, Berkeley Dunbrack, put on this amazing program, and we have now taken it up to this second year where it's bigger and better than ever, and Casey will tell that information to you. But one of my most favorite parts is going out to the farmers and actually picking up the produce that we use. And I have to tell you, early in the season, I went to Broad Fork Farm, and we had ordered romaine lettuce. And when Dan came out and he had 2 big containers of lettuce, they were huge. And he put them in the back of my car, and I looked at them and almost cried because I thought they were so filled of just nutrition, and they were so beautiful, and I knew the next day that parents and children were going to have them in a beautiful salad that Casey had menued. So that's one of the reasons I do it. It makes me happy.
Casey Dickinson, Assistant Director of Food and Nutrition Services. So as Ronnie said, this was just a kind of a crazy idea for me, and my team has truthfully just made it come to life. I think last summer we served about 475 meals at the farmers market. This year we are just under 1,200 meals to the community, and so as you said, it's not about the local, state, national recognitions. While those are nice and we appreciate those, it's really about that access to good, local, healthy foods for our students and other children in the community of Chesterfield, and that's why we show up and do what we do. And without Ronnie picking up from the farmers, I don't know that we can make it happen as efficiently as we do. But hopefully with the opening of our new food distribution center, that this will become widespread through Chesterfield County.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
So next up, we have a number of awards from our Career and Technical Education team, so much so that we had to cut them off to get them to this board meeting. So tonight we have 5 recognitions for the team. So to start us off, if I could ask our Future Business Leaders of America students and Yvonne Mullins to come forward this time. During the National Conference of Future Business Leaders of America this summer, 2 Midlothian High School students were recognized as the top students in the United States. More than 8,700 high school students and more than 13,000 middle school students competed in 100-plus events at the conference. Midlothian High FBLA Chapter Advisor Yvonne Mullins accompanied about a dozen students who participated in workshops, networking, and competitions. In the FBLA Awards of Excellence program, Midlothian High senior Mason Captain was honored as the #1 accounting student in the United States. And a frequent visitor for us for the 3rd year in a row, Midlothian High senior Cole Caffel placed in the top 10 in the nation in the FBLA competition, finishing 5th in advertising this year.
Congratulations. That is no small undertaking. And again, that is #1 and top 10 in the country. We are so proud of you. And your leadership and your shepherding these students through this process. I'd love for you guys to take a minute to tell us about your experience, and I'd love to hear more about advertising and accounting, marketing and accounting. Sorry, advertising, that just showed my age. So, marketing. But yeah, we'd love to hear about your experience.
A minute. We went to Orlando. I took 12 students, and it was 16,000 students in Orlando. They took a 100-question test, 50 minutes. It's timed, and it's objective. It's the smartest kid wins. And you don't go there just for the experience. We go there to win, and these guys know how to study. They know how to win. And, I mean, we've come back with the top 10 for the last 8 years from Midlothian High School in the nation. So it is really awesome. I truly, Sean Abel, our principal, is not here. We have Mrs. Jones here tonight, but Sean supports us, gives us what we need, and always has my back. So I really appreciate Dr. Abel for that. And the CTE team, we need money. It cost us $12,000 to take this trip. And they paid, and we paid out of the club, and we got money from CTE, and we've got money from our PTSO to help. So it's a village, and it's the best thing ever, and we love it. It's crazy, but I love it. So, love it.
First and foremost, I just want to say thank you to Ms. Mullins. The past 3 years, she's done so much for me. For the whole school, really, I think we have 400 members in our club at Midlow, so that is very great. I'm just so grateful for the opportunities to go the past 3 years to nationals, connect with students from all across the world, and understand and learn all about different aspects of business. All the workshops are very informative. It's just an overall great time and great opportunity that I'm very grateful for.
First off, I'm just really grateful for Miss Mullins. She's also my accounting teacher, so I'm sure she was really happy. And just grateful for the opportunity, the amount of work she puts in the club behind the scenes is just really appreciative for that. She does so much behind everything that people don't even realize. And then we were able to have this great experience, bring a good group of kids, and then just learn so much from it overall. 10 different workshops. I sat in a meeting about becoming a CPA, and now I might want to be a CPA. So it's just, you learn so much from the experience, and I'm just really grateful for her and the program overall.
I'll say one more thing. I always wanted to have a state first place accounting winner. We got 3rd place, 2nd place, 5th place, couldn't get a 1st place winner. So I said to Mason this year, I said, Mason or Cole, I need one of you to do accounting. So Mason said, I'll do it. He studied like the Dickens. But then he got called up to be top 10. And they call you up to the side and you wait there. And they said, the 10th place winner. And then we're like, okay, that wasn't Mason. 9th place. And we're screaming like crazy, all 12 of us like, oh my word, he's top 6, he's top 3. And when he was named the top winner, like I just told everyone, I could die a happy woman right now because he's my student, my curriculum, and it's like, he's #1 in the nation. It cannot get better than this. It cannot get better. So exciting.
Congratulations again. There you go. It's one for everyone. There you go. Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
If anybody needs their taxes done. Right.
If I could ask, next up, we're going to have our Program of the Year Award. If I could ask James Bernard, Randy Burtz, and James Myers, and Brian Russell to come forward, please. Congratulations to the Chesterfield Career and Technical Center at Hull Technology and Engineering Program with teachers James Bernard, Randy Burtz, and James Meyer, and Principal Brian Russell. CTC at Hull was awarded the 2024 High School Program of the Year Award from the Virginia Technology and Engineering Education Association at the association's annual conference. The Program of the Year Award is one of the highest honors given to technology and engineering education programs and is presented in recognition of outstanding contributions to the profession and students. Please join me in congratulating this program.
Congratulations, and thank you for all that you do for our students. I would love for you to share a little bit about your program and why it's the best.
Oh, just me. Oh, great. So I'm speaking for all of the people in the department. I'm the only one that could make it tonight because they have other commitments for the county, of course. So we have advanced engineering and manufacturing. We have mechatronics and industrial robotics and digital arts. And that's just a small sampling of what we do at the Technical Center. We have 2 of them, Courthouse and Hall Street. Lots of amazing things happening there. Juniors and seniors, tell your friends. But it's just, you know, putting kids into college with the track or putting them into the workforce with the track and just opening all kinds of pathways for them. It's pretty amazing stuff.
So on behalf of the Chesterfield Career and Technical Center, I will continue to say we are the best kept secret in the county. And so as you can imagine, we prepare students for careers. We prepare them for an academic track. We do a lot of things that most people don't know about. So when you get a chance, just look us up and see what we do. We've had credential scores that are statewide and national scores and national credentials. We just do a great job with our students, and so please continue to support us. We have 2 campuses, our Hall Street campus and our Courthouse campus, with more than 30 programs. We do a fantastic job with our students.
Thank you again for all you do. I don't know, I think the secret might be out after tonight's awards, but thank you again for all that you do for our students and to provide just pathways for success. Thank you. Congratulations again. Congratulations. Enjoy your swag.
Next up, if I could ask LaToya Harvey Harrington and our friends from CECLA to come forward this time. The Early Childhood Education Program won the Region 1 Award for CTE Program of the Year from the Virginia Department of Education. LaToya Harvey Harrington leads the program, which is based at the Chesterfield Career and Technical Center at Courthouse and co-located at Chester Early Childhood Learning Academy, so CECLA is easier. The Early Childhood Education Program is a 2-year program for high school juniors and seniors that prepares them to foster the social, emotional, physical, and cognitive growth of young children. Early childhood education students work in pre-kindergarten classrooms, children's ages 3 to 5. This program prepares students for the Child Development Associate certification, ultimately advancing their careers and contributing to the status of their profession. Please join me in congratulating the program.
Now, I get to take my school board member hat off for a minute. My daughter, who graduated last year, graduated with her credential in early childhood development and came through your program and came through your classroom. And she enjoyed the program. She was engaged. She learned so much. And she was even able to take those skills and bring them back to CCPS as an instructional assistant. So, you know, these are real skills that you're teaching, and these are real applicable and valuable lessons that you're teaching our children in these programs. Would love to hear from you about your favorite part of the program, or if you just want to pass the mic over to Brian, I'm sure he'll take it over again.
Well, the favorite part about my program is, of course, my kids that I work with, my high school kids, and then preschool kids. I see the preschool kids every day, just as well as the high school kids, and it's a pleasure working with both of them, seeing my students interact with them and take the lead in the classrooms with the preschool teachers. The preschool teachers love having them. They're excellent mentors to them. And I'd say that's probably the best part of my program is my kids, of course. And I have great administration and a wonderful CTE team.
All right, I get to add one more piece to this. So we had to present this program to the staff at CECLA, and so we're sharing that our students are going to be in your backyard, and they're going to be working with your students. Thinking that it was going to be an exciting moment, one of the teachers asked, what happens if we don't want your students with us, or what happens if there's a problem with your students? And I remember saying, I never even thought about that because we've always had great success in our program. Within 6 months, it was a request for our students to be in every one of their classrooms. And even Dr. Devlin, our associate principal, will testify that they were calling and beckoning for every one of our students to support every one of their classes because they did such a great job. So when we say this is a program that has high value, that CDA, that Child Development Associate certification, it has a long stretch, and this program was one of the only ones that had all their students to complete and earn that certificate, that credential. I'll also share that it's a rigorous credential because it takes 840 hours to compile all this over a 2-year program. And so these students have high value in making sure they go from their junior year to their senior year earning this credential. So fantastic job to LaToya. It is a great program. We'll continue to support you.
Congratulations again. The other side.
Next up, we have our CTE Advisory Committee of the Year, and Will Willis, if you come forward this time. As recognized by the Virginia Department of Education, the Heating, Ventilation, Air Conditioning, and Refrigeration Advisory Committee for the Chesterfield Career and Technical Center Courthouse has won the statewide award for CTE Advisory Committee of the Year after first winning the Region 1 award. Will Willis heads up the program and has assembled an advisory committee of 40-plus owners and top employers that meets twice annually. The committee reviews the curriculum and instructional resources and gives feedback for areas that need improvement based on current industry standards. The members also volunteer in the classroom monthly to present to students about career awareness, career opportunities, and achieving universal EPA certification. Advisory committee members help coordinate and judge Skills USA competitions. They also participate in trades interview days to give students the opportunity to interview for part-time employment, full-time employment, and work-based learning experiences. Please join me in congratulating the Virginia CTE Advisory Committee of the Year.
Congratulations. And, you know, it's no small feat to give of your talent and your experience, and we appreciate putting that energy into our students, into the community. Would you like to share a little bit more about what you do and what drives you?
Sure. Thank you very much for taking the time to recognize our program. My advisory board, everything he just read is 100% accurate. My advisory board does a fantastic job of coming in and supporting my students. The goal is that we get them in at least once a month. That gives the students the opportunity to hear what guys from industry and women from industry have to say about what's going on currently. It gives them the opportunity to see the new technologies. They also are very, very driven to help our students understand the importance of passing the credentialing tests that we give. Not only our EPA universal card is required for these people to go into the field and you know, gainfully be employed, but they also push the WRS test that we take. They help us encourage them to get passing scores on our heat exams, and we've been really successful with them driving it behind us. They also come in and really come in and promote the kids with their Skills USA competition. They help me run our regional competition. They actually run it. I kind of get everybody together, and they put our competitions together and judge our kids and encourage them to go further into states and so on and so forth. And you know, at the end of the day, in April when we have our trades interview day, the best thing they do is they come back and they interview all of our students for the opportunity to go out and work in the workforce from all of our trades programs. And it really is an interesting thing. For those of you that have had an air conditioner or a heating unit breakdown in the past couple of years, they're probably a student that came from the Tech Center. Thank you.
And I was that person that had an air conditioner breakdown and go, Mr. Russell. So yes, it has happened to me. I will share the other part that we don't talk about with teachers here in our programs is the relationship that they create. So Will is also a coach and has been a coach in the county for a long period of time. And Coach Willis also coaches in the classroom, and that relationship makes the program thrive even more. So he also talked about his credentials, but he also has a program that has 3 credentials that are recognized by industry, where most of our programs have 1, maybe 2. His has 3, and that's how we become successful in our industry with our industry partners. So again, much thanks to Will and his HVAC program.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. And congratulations again. Thank you. And, keep on keeping on.
Next up, if I could ask our leaders from the Meadowbrook Academy for Developing Entrepreneurs to come forward this time. The Virginia School Board Association selected the Meadowbrook Academy for Developing Entrepreneurs for the Top Excellence in Workforce Readiness Award for school systems with more than 10,000 students. Led by Specialty Center Coordinator Shannon Toole, the Academy was recognized for creating a vibrant learning environment where each participant can explore and pursue their entrepreneurial dreams. Working with partners including BizWorks, Startup Virginia, and VCU's Da Vinci Center for Innovation, students gain access to mentorship, networking, and real-world insights. Work-based learning is central to the Specialty Center, and the Meadowbrook's career experience consultant, Chesney Lukauer, is central to the work-based learning. Please join me in congratulating the Meadowbrook Academy for Developing Entrepreneurs.
Give me all of the things to carry. Well, congratulations. This is a big deal. And you know, so this is from the Virginia School Board Association, has recognized you all for your amazing program, for what it delivers for our students. Would you like to share a little bit about your program?
I'm going to let Shannon really talk about the program. I'm here for Chesney Lukauer, our CEC. She is out today and couldn't make it, but she is an integral part that helps to work with Shannon and her program to provide work-based learning opportunities for our students. Her and Shannon have a wonderful partnership where they go out and work with over 500 business partners that we have in the community that come and support our students, from guest speaking all the way up to mentorship and internships. And it really is just a crucial crux in Meadowbrook High School, where every single student in the MAID Specialty Center is having tangible, real-world experiences to really affirm what their trajectory and career pathways are. And so it's just an amazing thing that Shannon and her team and Chesney have created at Meadowbrook.
How do I follow that up, Katie? Everything she said? I am just so incredibly grateful for our business partnerships and all of our industry people who come in. VCU, their graduate students come in and they work with our students, and they're coming in weekly to work with our freshmen. BizWorks has been a great partner. There's several that have really changed our program for the better, has given them opportunities, our students opportunities to go out of the classroom on those field trips and earning micro-credentials, and oh gosh, we just do so many great things, and I just am so proud of our students because they are the ones putting in the hours to earn this award.
Thank you. On behalf of Meadowbrook High School, I just want to say how proud we are of our MAID program and our students and our parents and our teachers who contribute to this wonderful program. I had an experience with the MAID program as soon as I became principal of Meadowbrook High School. One of the students had a clothing business. He asked, Dr. Reed, can I make you a sweatshirt? I told him, you have full creative license. He made me a sweatshirt. That's one of my favorite sweatshirts. And I also bought a candle. So our Meadowbrook entrepreneurs are doing big things. They are going to be future business leaders, and we're so proud of them, and we are very proud of our teachers and our parents that support this program, as well as our entire faculty and staff that contribute to this program. So again, thank you.
Great day to be a CTE teacher.
Congratulations again.
The expo is in April. We'll send you all an invite.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members, Madam Chair, Mr. Roberts. My name is Calvin Fromm, the Director of Transportation, and it is my pleasure this evening to present to you our drivers of the summer. We had over 170 drivers on the road this summer. My wife said, "What are you doing this summer? The buses are not running." We had 170 drivers out there fulfilling that mission. And it was very difficult out of that 170 drivers for each of our area managers to select one to represent our area. But here they are tonight. So it's my pleasure to present to you from Area 1, Carl Brown, Bus 637, 1 year of service. The Area 1 team says Carl comes to our team with an infectious smile and unwavering eagerness to tackle any task. Carl will be taking on the extra role of mentoring other drivers this year. Tamika Lee, Area 2, Bus 71, 1 year of service. Tamika says she loves the kids. Tamika's manager, Ron, says she goes above and beyond every day and always puts the team first. Dana Wilson, Area 3, Bus 849, 3 years of service. Dana is unable to join us this evening, but accepting her award is her manager, Jacqueline Roach. Dana says the kids are her inspiration. They make her laugh and cry happy tears. She loves helping and being the first and last person they see every day. Christine Netto, Area 4, Bus 693, 8 months of service. Christine says she enjoys being a bus driver simply because of the kids, even those that give her a hard time. She knows that deep down, she makes an impact because being kind can change anyone's heart. Gwen Owens, Area 5, Bus 241, 2 years of service. Gwen says it's been a pleasure and blessing to work as a driver for the last 2.5 years, and the area staff are incredibly supportive. She says it's been great working with such great kids and parents, and she is looking forward to many more years of making a difference in these kids' lives. Thank you.
Well, thank you, guys. You all are our superstars of the summer, superstars coming up, and you all, what you do matters so much. You were the first person that our kids see in the morning, and you're the last person they see on the way home. And you can make maybe what could be a yucky day bright, and you could also make what was a yucky day better. And so that kindness that you talked about is magical, and y'all spread it, and you're up here getting awards. So we are so thankful. If you want to say a little something about what you're looking forward to, or your favorite part, or a funny story.
Oh, I have lots of funny stories, but that's one thing about being a bus driver. You're always going to have a story. But no, on a serious note, I'm taking a new challenge this year as a runner, so I'm excited about that. And it has been a blessing, and have met a lot of good parents and kids and wonderful teachers, and I'd like to thank you all.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. Although it's been, a very short amount of time, the kids are just as wonderful and open to any information and tone that you give them. So of course the kindness can go a long way. So I plan to keep going and keep encouraging the kids and continuing to spread that kindness.
So I chose Dana because Dana's actually been with CCPS for several years, but she's only been in Area 3 for just probably about a half a year. I got Dana, there was a need in my area, so Dana came over. She came over willingly. She comes into the office every day. She's smiling. Over summer school, I needed one last package filled, and Dana was not going to do summer school, but I called her and I said, please, can you just at least give me 1 week, and then I'll figure it out. She said, I'll give you a week. She came in after 2 days. She called me and she said, just put me down. I'll do it the whole summer. So Dana is a team player. Like I said, she's always got a smile on her face, and she just, she's great for Area 3.
Hey, y'all. I said that I love kids, and most importantly, I love my kids. I treat them as if they are my children. So I'm just excited. I'll see y'all on Monday.
Hey, how y'all doing? I really just enjoy being out of my comfort zone and working with the students and making sure they get home safe. That's it.
Thank you guys again, and have a great year. Happy driving.
Next, we have public comment. For this meeting, citizens were given the option of submitting their comments online or in person. Comments submitted via the online form were sent to the board prior to the start of tonight's meeting and will be included in full as an addendum to the meeting minutes. Madam Clerk, would you please announce this evening's in-person speakers?
Madam Chair, we have 25 speakers this evening. They are Joel Iguales, Rob Hamill, Candy Cushman, Josh Hetzler, Gloria Randolph, Colleen Burnett, Jason Spoon, Randall Hahn, Laura Collum, Margaret Chavis, Mac Collum, Glenn Johnson, Naisha Nichols, Joe Maltempi, Kelly Eichfeld, Catherine Patterson, Maria Rodriguez, Chuck Coastal, Caitlin Weston, Bakura Chavez, Ann Tatus, Wendy Little, Christine Melendez, Robert Everett, and Mike Carabinos. Each speaker will have 4 minutes to address the board. There's a timer set up on top of the podium that will turn green when you begin speaking, yellow when you have 30 seconds remaining, and red when your time has expired. As a reminder, no personal belongings other than a cell phone and your speaker notes are allowed at the podium. Please have your materials organized in a manner that as you arrive at the podium, you are prepared to start speaking. Please note that comments equivalent to campaigning for any public office are a violation of School Board Policy 1110 and are prohibited. May we have Joel Iguales. As he's coming up, Rob Hamill, you're next.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is Joel Aguiluz, and I am a pastor of the Spanish congregation at the Heights Baptist Church, which is in Chesterfield County. I have also volunteered at different schools in Chesterfield County as a mentor to children, as a tutor for children that are falling behind in reading, as an interpreter for ESL parents. I myself went through ESL in middle school, or ESOL as it was called back then. My family moved from Peru to this country looking for better opportunities, looking for a better future for us. This is a common story among the members of my congregation, many of whom do not speak the language and rely on the public school system to have the same goal in mind for their kids. Because of different reasons, including language and legal status, many of those parents do not feel like they have a voice. A key aspect of our culture is family. The bond of family defines the Hispanic culture, and it's an aspect we treasure. I'm here concerned that some of your decisions and policies, such as Policy 1015, may unintentionally drive a wedge in the bond of family that we treasure so much. As a parent, I trust that if my child is not doing well academically, I will be notified and can work on a plan with the support of the teacher to help the child do well. Should a child be physically hurt while in school, I trust I will be notified so that I can coordinate and help provide the medical care my child needs. However, if a child is emotionally hurting and struggling with their sexual identity, you have decided that parents are disqualified from partnering to be there for their children. Your policy threatens the family bond of trust and open communication that our culture background has held as sacred for generations. Our request is simple. We're not asking you to reinvent the wheel. We're asking that you adopt Governor Youngkin's parental rights policies. Governor Youngkin won the 2021 election in Chesterfield County as well. So we're asking you to honor our democracy and the wishes of the majority of the residents. We're asking you to not break the bond of trust within the families that you serve. May God give you wisdom. Thank you.
Rob Hamill. After that, we'll have Candy Cushman.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rob Hamill, and I'm a teacher at O.B. Gates Elementary School. I am a member of your Chesterfield Education Association. I serve on the board there. And I also serve on the Virginia Education Association's LGBTQIA+ committee. But most importantly, and the reason that I came to talk to you all today is because I am the proud parent of a trans woman, and I am the proud son-in-law of a trans woman. And I would like to talk to you a little bit today about their experiences in school. So, my in-law, Jana Glisson Dunbar, transitioned in 1985. She raised my lovely wife, Renee. Renee tells stories about how Jana came to every single one of her soccer games, how Jana was there for her on the weekends, and how they just had a wonderful relationship together. Jana was, by all accounts, a wonderful parent. Jana worked at the neurobiology lab at VCU for many years, did work on traumatic brain injuries, and she got her doctorate and became a professor at Randolph-Macon University. Unfortunately, Jana didn't start out very successful in school. When she went to school in the 70s, she didn't see other trans people in the curriculum. She couldn't be herself at school. She couldn't be herself at home. And she didn't really do very well. She was kicked out of school after school after school because she didn't feel like she belonged there. She didn't feel like she was welcome. Most people in her family don't remember how many different schools Jana went to because it was just so many. And ultimately, she really struggled to graduate. Luckily, now we know that that was part of a pattern and that that is a common experience for transgender people if they don't feel they can be themselves at school. They feel like they're not welcome there and they don't want to come to school and they have a hard time graduating. We have 50 years of science and research that supports all of this. My daughter, Rose, however, had a very different experience. She went to Norfolk Public Schools, which has excellent policies about transgender students, the same policies that we have in Chesterfield County. And she had a wonderful experience there. She was very successful. She was in the jazz band. She played 2 great performances that I got to see. She helped start the Dungeons and Dragons Club, and she was a member of the Gay Straight Alliance in school as well. So she was an exemplary student. Whenever I met any of her teachers, they had wonderful things to say about her. They just praised her up and down. It was wonderful. It made me so proud. And Rose graduated with honors from Maury High School and attained more scholarship money than anyone else in our family ever has. And she is starting her first year at VCU this year, and we are very proud of her. Rose was able to do all that because she had great policies in Norfolk, policies that made her feel accepted. We were a part of those policies. The idea that the current Chesterfield policies or the Norfolk policies lock parents out of the system is simply a myth. We were a part of that. We were part of that transition the whole way. We signed several things. We talked to teachers. We talked to counselors, and the school was worked with us very well. The school really didn't have to do a lot, honestly. They just had a binder in the guidance counselor's office with a little bit of information about names and pronouns, and that was all it took. We have fantastic policies like that now. Policies that allow our transgender students to be successful, to get fantastic scholarships, to go to great universities. We have all that in place in Chesterfield right now. Our trans kids are succeeding. We're not really having any problems, and the only thing we have to do to keep it working is nothing at all. Thank you very much.
Candy Cushman.
Good evening. My name is Candy Cushman, and I serve as a vice president at the Family Foundation of Virginia. And I represent thousands of families who look to our organization for help to help their voices be heard. Thousands of families and parents right here in Chesterfield County. We all agree that every single child, without exception, should be protected from harm and harassment. Virginia already has comprehensive policies against bullying at both the state and local levels, as well as mandatory reporting laws requiring educators to report suspected abuse. But it's counterproductive to all of that if we allow policies to continue to exist that drive a wedge between parents and students. If we allow these school-endorsed policies, that creates more danger and harm to children. This isn't just a hypothetical concern. We've seen these documented cases in Virginia, whether it's the teen who found herself trapped in sex trafficking after schools hid things from her parents, or the kids suffering sexual assaults in their own school bathrooms, and parents are not notified about that. This is a real issue. Of particular concern here in Chesterfield is the policy 1015, which remains inconsistent and therefore out of compliance with clear direction to parents from the Virginia Education Department and Attorney General's office to put parents back in the driver's seat concerning these issues. So that's why we're coming alongside the parents here tonight, asking you to bring this policy into compliance with the following language. Language that makes it clear schools can no longer have policies encouraging teachers to hide relevant information from parents about their kids, especially when it comes to sexual and gender identity experimentation at school. Make it clear that parents must be notified and given an opportunity to object before counseling regarding gender is given to their children. And also address the fact that schools can't constitutionally compel employees or students to speak words that violate their faith or conscience. We need a balanced approach that really does respect all families in the district. We urge you to consider the equally important perspective of families that have felt and experienced real harm when parents are cut out of the process. Please take action now to align your school district policies with the Governor Youngkin, with the Youngkin administration's parental rights policies coming out of the Department of Education. Thank you so much.
Josh Hetzler.
Good evening. My name is Josh Hetzler. I'm a lifelong Chesterfield County resident and a former student at Chesterfield County Schools, Curtis Elementary, Chester Middle, which no longer exists, as you know, and Thomasdale High School, class of 2008. It's good to be with you. But I'm here to speak to you as an attorney who represents the Founding Freedoms Law Center. And I want to affirm to you tonight that the school board is certainly in violation of the law. This has been talked about a lot. The Virginia General Assembly a few years back passed a law that said that the Department of Education gets to create model policies for the treatment of transgender students, and it directed every school district to adopt policies consistent therewith. And your policy, policy 1015, not only is inconsistent with that, but it's in direct violation of those policies in a variety of ways. So I want to first and foremost urge you to take action on this. It's been well over a year since these policies went into effect, and this school board has done nothing. We know that your predecessors acted quickly to enact the Northam model policies in just a month, but you have not done so, and the law requires you to do so. But beyond the state law, it's important to understand that fundamental rights are at play here. First and foremost among them, parental rights. And these policies certainly do, in our opinion, violate parental rights in a variety of important ways. They also compel speech. They also inhibit religious exercise. They also infringe upon privacy of students. And other school districts are beginning to face lawsuits against this. So, you know, fundamental rights are something that you are tasked with not violating as a government entity. And so we want to encourage you to do that because this policy certainly violates many of those. But the worst thing of all is not even the law, the ways in which this is violating the law. The worst part of all is the way in which this is harming children and parents. And some of these things we've heard about, we know about, but I would submit to you that most of the issues occur and nobody talks about them. And many, many students are feeling violated in ways that they're too afraid to talk about. And I hear from them. I hear from them all the time. And many of them are simply too afraid to speak out. And there's a great sense of fear about this. And it occurred to me that perhaps for the same reason that many of these parents and students are afraid over this issue, maybe you yourselves, maybe you would have a hard time admitting it, but maybe deep down you know, I'm afraid to do this because of the political pressures. And I want to say I understand that, but I want to say I have good news for you. The law is on the side of parents. The law is on the side of speech and religious exercise and privacy. Recently, we sent you a letter letting you know that Title IX's new regulations were not in effect in Virginia, that the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals had determined that those would be suspended. There's no reason under federal law that you should have policies like this. All that's left then is state law and, of course, those fundamental liberties that are at stake. And so for those reasons, I want to urge you, don't wait any longer. Take action, do the right thing, follow the law, and most importantly, protect students and parents. Thank you.
Gloria Randolph.
Oh, praise God. Good evening. My name is Gloria Randolph, and I'm in the Dale District. I'm standing here as a mother, grandmother, and a great-grandmother. I'm asking each of you as school board members, on the behalf of parents, moms and dads, that the parents be informed and engaged in all matters concerning their children. I believe by adopting Governor Youngkin's parental rights policies will address the concerns of the parents. Parents have been given the command to train up their children in the way that they should go. As parents, we are to teach them what is true, just, righteous, and what is of a good report. This will help them to thrive. Let the children see us, the parents, administrators, the school board working together. I truly believe this is very important for the children to see us working together. I believe this will cause the children to know they are in a safe place and they are loved, cared for, and protected. That we are here to help them excel academically so that each one of the children will be empowered for success in whatever field they decide to enter in life, whether choosing a vocational school, starting a business, or going to college. Let us work together for the success of all the children. I'm asking you to adopt Governor Youngkin's parental rights policies. Thank you, each one of you.
Colleen Burnett.
Good evening. I have two children in the Chesterfield County School District, but I'm not originally from here. I'm from upstate New York. And before you think New York City, keep going north till you hit Canada, or you think you're in Canada, and that's where I'm from. My husband and I loved our community. The taxes were a little high, but we stayed in our area because of the good schools. We happily enrolled our children in pre-K and kindergarten and first grade and second grade. I volunteered on the PTA, both as treasurer and president, and I was volunteering in my kids' classroom on a regular basis. I love the school, the staff, and the teachers. Then came COVID, which was hard for everybody. It was hard for administrators, teachers, everybody trying to figure out what to do. And then the summer of 2020.
My husband and I were desperately searching for someone to talk to about our kids, about what they needed, about what we felt was best for them. Emails and phone calls to local offices went completely unanswered. No automated response, no response at all. We even reached out to our state level, only to experience the same silence. We did talk to our superintendent, but she wasn't able to give us any answers. When the reopening plan was given, we realized that no parents had been consulted. No one asked us what our kids needed. We were even told that because our kids did relatively well for distance learning, that they would not be receiving attention the following school year because there were so many other children who had not done well learning at home. I cried as I realized that the very school I had spent hours volunteering at was part of a system that wouldn't listen to us. And what's worse, as time went on through the 2020-2021 school year, we realized they weren't interested in listening to us. This issue played a major role in us moving to Virginia. We researched school districts and we loved what we had read online about Chesterfield. We wanted a school district that talked to us, listened to us, and partnered with us as parents of our children. I come to you asking, please be transparent with us. I believe the teachers, the school counselors, and the staff are trying to do what's best for the students in their care. But they aren't their parents. We are. We partner with the teachers to educate our children. Please don't leave us out of the equation. Let us be part of our schools. Thank you.
Jason Spoon.
Hey, thank you, folks, for having us. I'm Jason Spoon. I'm the volunteer director of Speak Up Chesterfield, these fine folks back here. And I'm the father of 3 school-age daughters. There are some, I don't do a lot of public speaking. I don't really like coming to speak at the board meetings, but there are just some topics that are so important and grievous that I can't help but speak to them. This is one of those issues. Speak Up Chesterfield is a grassroots effort of parents in our community, and we're deeply concerned that too many of our public school systems have lost a basic level of respect for involving parents in what is happening in their child's education. Now, we were encouraged to see that Governor Youngkin revised the model policies concerning transgender issues in the school system. This corrected several problems by bringing parents back into the discussion. Among these things, the updated policies made it clear that the schools can't have policies instructing teachers to hide information from parents, especially regarding gender experimentation at school. It also made it clear parents must be notified and given an opportunity to object before counseling regarding gender is given to their children. It also returns First Amendment freedoms to employees and students who don't want to be compelled to speak words that violate their faith or conscience. These are common sense approaches that reinforce the rights of parents to help direct their children's lives, and I think it's sorely missing from the current Chesterfield policy. As soon as they were released, Speak Up Chesterfield supported the revised model policies, and we went to work sending emails to you guys, speaking at the school board meetings. We had large groups come out and attend school board meetings to make public comments on numerous occasions. We didn't get a lot of feedback. Now, we're just a few days past the anniversary of the Youngkin model policies being released. So it kind of begs the question, where are they? You know, why wouldn't you all want to create a policy as quickly as you did policy 1015? You know, we can only speculate, but we want to trust you, you know, but this doesn't help bring back the parents' trust in the school system. To me, it seems as though our school board members aren't taking parents as seriously as they should. That if you just ignore us for long enough, maybe we'll go away. A child exploring gender transition is a big deal, and it's a life-changing decision that can put them on a path to body mutilation and chemical castration as possible outcomes. Why wouldn't the school system want to involve parents in that decision as much as they possibly can? More frankly, though, why is the school system even involved in that decision in the first place? Now, I know all parents aren't created equally, And there are always some notable exceptions, but most parents are going to err on the side of keeping their children safe. I mean, these are our children. We have to deal with the effects of all of their decisions long after the school system has graduated them. We don't just nod our heads and remain marginalized where their safety is concerned. Protecting our kids, man, that's what we do. These folks are here to stand with us in solidarity and urge you guys, please, take parents seriously, propose and pass the revised model policies, and protect every kid equally. It's past time. Thank you.
Randall Hahn.
Good evening. My name is Randy Hahn, and I am the pastor at the Heights Baptist Church and also the father of, now this is a personal opinion, 4 great kids, all raised in Chesterfield County Public Schools, 2 graduating from Matoaka and 2 from Midlothian. We had a wonderful and positive experience in our many years with CCPS, and I might add all 4 of our kids, a little bit of, again, personal opinion, excelled well beyond high school academically. And my wife, Karen, and I certainly attribute that in part to our partnership with the school district. It is really a partnership, isn't it? Have we not heard a multitude of teachers over many generations say one of the most determining variables of a child's success in education is the involvement of their parents? How often has engaging the parent been both the opportunity and the challenge? And that's why I'm so concerned over a current policy in Chesterfield County Public Schools that calls for teachers and administration to, and I'm going to use the word hide, certain identity issues from parents. I understand it will be revealed if the parents ask. That's a big if they know to ask. Just like you, I believe we should protect every child, including those wrestling with sensitive issues like gender and sexuality. But how do we come to the conclusion that parents should not be considered in what is best, considered in what protection is? This policy sets a precedent that, in my opinion, breaks a historic and necessary partnership between teachers and parents. And this line probably would identify most why I'm here tonight. Once you break on that one issue, it can go anywhere from there because we're basically determining that parents are not necessary. They don't need to know. I understand that some of these young people may be dealing with abusive situations at home over these issues, and in those cases, there are already policies in place for reporting and protecting. Let's not dismiss all parent-child relationships because there can be some abusive ones. I fear it is not science and research that is leading us to keep the parent in the dark, but political pressure. I assume there is as well that is, this is what is going on now, this is what everyone is doing, it's what's expected, but that's not entirely true. As you've heard over and over tonight and already know, our governor has provided guidelines that multiple school districts across the Commonwealth are using, even large districts like ours, Virginia Beach, for example. So I don't feel like I'm asking CCPS to do something that sets them against their peers in the educational communities. I would join in asking you to remove Policy 1015 that cut parents out of the process and to adopt Governor Youngkin's parental rights policies. Thank you for hearing me tonight.
Laura Colum. Next, Margaret Chavez. Matt Colum.
A little shorter than the other folks that have been up here. Hi, guys. Thank you for letting me speak to you tonight. My name is McLean Davis Colomb, and I've been a resident of Chesterfield County for my entire life. I'm here to speak about how grateful I am that Chesterfield County has continued their support of all students, including trans students. by keeping progressive policies in place in light of the Virginia Department of Education's 2023 model policies for schools. I was a student of Chesterfield County Public Schools for the entirety of my K through 12 education. And as a queer trans man, I'd like to share a little bit of my experience as it relates to these VDOE policies. As I've come to discover, self-discovery is not a linear process, and neither is coming out. Coming out is something that we ask the queer and trans community to do for the rest of our lives. It's been an incredibly difficult process, and I have been lucky enough to have room to explore my own identity with people who I trusted and could process with freely. I didn't know that I was trans in high school, or at least I didn't accept it as true. I had inklings, I knew what I felt inside, and even that can be hard to digest by yourself as a young person. And this is why being made to come out before you're ready is so detrimental to the health and well-being of transgender students in our schools. The Virginia Department of Education states in the purpose of those model policies that they support efforts to protect and encourage respect for all students. And this initiative is crucial to the success of our young people. And respect for all students should continue to be extended. Denying a child the ability to make a decision about how and when they decide to dive headfirst into what may be the most vulnerable moment in their life thus far, rushing them into a moment that for too many is dangerous or even fatal, is the very antithesis of this messaging. The first person I ever came out to, though rather informally, I'll admit, was a teacher of mine in middle school before I knew I was trans. And it was in large part thanks to the community that I was able to build in high school without fear of repercussion that I did come out as trans in May of 2022. I was given the chance to be president of my school's GSA, and I made friends with people even outside of that club who instilled in me the confidence to finally trust myself. These folks, who were fellow students as well as teachers and administration, were behind me when I asked to be called Mac, and when I requested that my dead name not be used at graduation, because coming out like 3 weeks before you get your diploma is a whirlwind. I got high fives and encouragement all around from my friends and from teachers. When I was asking to be called McLean at graduation, the first person who I spoke to simply said, "We can do that. I like that name. It's a good one." Having that safe space where I felt like I was seen and had a sense of community and belonging was so formative to me. The teachers and administration at my school who didn't question me or make me feel as though my identity was something to be scrutinized meant the world. It was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, and the whole experience has led me to where I am today, being as comfortable in my identity and as sure of myself as I have ever been. But this experience of simply being able to grow up would have been squashed if I felt like my very existence was something to be probed by teachers, or that I couldn't trust the adults in my life at school with a piece of information that I wasn't quite ready to share with everybody, and that trust is fundamental. This fear and anxiety is what inhibits a child's education and safety, not the presence of trans children. So I ask that you continue to support trans students in our Chesterfield County Public Schools, and I again thank you for giving me this time tonight.
Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson.
Sorry, I didn't hear you call. My ears are getting old. My name is Glenn Johnson. I'm the pastor of Good News Freeville Baptist Church, father of 6 and the grandfather of 14. And I've served as pastor for 45 years, 34 of those years here in Chesterfield County. In fact, 30 years ago, I attended my first school board meeting. And I'm glad to be here with you tonight. I want to thank you for your service, and I applaud you for your effort to create a good environment of education for our children. Your task it's not a simple one, and I appreciate your willingness to wrestle with the complexities that are before us tonight. Much has already been said, so I'm going to get right to the point. Forgive me, I'm going to speak like a pastor, but I are one, so I'm going to just very quickly say that God has designed 3 institutions for the welfare of the human race: the family, and the church, and government. And these institutions do not exist independently of each other. They're interdependent. God has designed that they should be complementary. If they operate according to God's design, they'll contribute to the health and well-being of one another. If they do not operate according to God's design, they will undermine the well-being of one another. And herein is the rub. What is God's design? Well, that's the reason for this large gathering tonight, largely by the people here, because we feel convinced that God's design is being undermined, that it's not really what God would desire. And we are concerned that government, rather than strengthening the institution of the family, is in danger in this day of weakening the institution of the family. And if it succeeds in doing this, there's no remedy for the damage that will follow. I'm an old man, and I've seen where we're going. It's not going to be well without the family. Please understand that I'm not suggesting that there's some kind of conscious effort to undermine the family. Much of the motivation may be that of wanting to address genuine fruit problems that are the result of a disintegrating culture. But if in an attempt to deal with those fruit problems, we create greater root problems, it's not going to bode well for us in the future. And that's where we are today. We're in danger of destroying an institution if we continue on this course. Family must be strengthened and not supplanted if we are to be a better world for our children. Nothing else has worked in the past, and nothing else will work in the future. Thank you.
Naisha Nicholas.
Good evening. I'm a parent of a child who attends Chesterfield County Public Schools. I'm here today to discuss the importance of parental rights through the lens of having a child with a disability. As parents and guardians of children with special needs, we know firsthand the unique challenges and joys that come with raising our extraordinary kids. We also understand how critical it is to be a voice for our children, to advocate for our children, and be respected as partners in the educational process for our children. The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, is a vital law that ensures children with disabilities receive the education and support they need to thrive. But at the heart of this law is something even more crucial, the recognition of parental rights. And I do not know how I would be there for my daughter if I did not have it. IDEA understands that parents are their child's first and most important advocates. It empowers parents to be active participants in their child's education, ensuring that the needs and goals of the child are met in the most appropriate way possible. One of the ways IEDA values parental rights is with informed consent. Schools must provide parents with full disclosure. Before obtaining written consent, the school must provide parents with all the information they need to make an informed decision. Parents must have a clear understanding of their rights, knowing they have the right to refuse and/or revoke consent at any time. The Virginia Department of Education, VDOE, also has current policies that align with these protections. The VDOE fully acknowledges the rights of parents to exercise their fundamental rights protected by the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution to direct the care, upbringing, and education of their children. The Code of Virginia reaffirms the rights of parents to determine how their children will be raised and educated. With these legal protections, the VDOE states schools shall respect parents' values and beliefs. Schools shall defer to parents to make the best decisions with respect to their children. Schools shall keep parents informed about their children's well-being. The VDOE makes it clear that local school boards must adopt policies that are consistent with these parental rights. So whether it's regarding policies with individuals with disabilities, like my daughter, or policies regarding gender identity, parents must be involved and provided informed consent. These types of legal protections are essential to ensuring that not only my child, but all children who attend public school have the opportunity they need to reach their full potential. Education is truly a partnership. I just had an IEP meeting the other day. Schools provide the environment and resources while parents provide guidance, support, and reinforcement. When this partnership is strong, our children thrive. But for it to be strong, parents must be seen as respected and primary partners in the educational process. This starts with the school board voting to update their policies that honors parental rights and truly reflects the needs and values of our community. Thank you.
Joe Maltempe.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joe Maltempe. I'm a resident of Chesterfield County and in the Dell District. I'm a father of 3 children, 9, 6, and 3. Two of those being of age to go to Chesterfield County Public Schools. And me and my wife had decided that Chesterfield County Public Schools are not an option for our family. And it's partly because of the misplaced trust by Chesterfield County Public Schools, partly because of the non-adoption of Governor Youngkin's policies that have come out. And so I'm here tonight to ask you that you adopt those policies and put them forward. I myself was a graduate of Thomasdale High School in 2005 and had a varied education over the years of homeschool and private school along with the public school. And it was great, provided many avenues of learning and also for athletics as well, more on the public school side. And part of the reason why I ended up going to public school in the end of it. But as of right now, I do not see that opportunity available for my children, and it pains me. So I ask that you enact these to help start restoring the trust of the families that have chose other options than public school for their families, as public school has become not an option. Thank you.
Kelly Eichfeld.
Hello and good evening, members of Chesterfield County School Board, educators, and my fellow community members. Hello. My name is Kelly Eichfeld. I am a non-binary parent in CCP with CCPS students living here for the past 11 years with my family. I'm here tonight to help build bridges instead of deepening our divides. I have come here tonight to ensure the continued protection, support, and privacy of all students and provide resources to learn more about our transgender community. The well-being and academic success, every student are priority, and this includes our transgender youth who face unique challenges in their educational journey. Transgender students often face a higher risk of bullying, discrimination, and exclusion. According to national studies, these students are more likely to experience mental health issues due to the lack of acceptance and support in their schools. This isn't just about individual experiences, it's creating safe environments where every student can learn and thrive without fear. Research consistently shows that when transgender students are treated with respect and given the right to express their gender identity, their academic performance and mental health improves significantly. This is not only a matter of individual well-being, but also of fostering a positive and productive school environment for everyone. I urge the Chesterfield County School Board to ensure that our transgender students are supported this school year, specifically by keeping our current policies. They are serving our transgender population in many helpful ways. Please pledge to keep them in place this school year. Providing more staff training, ensuring that all staff receives training on transgender issues to foster a more inclusive and understanding environment. There's local organizations like He, She, Ze, and We that offer education and support to businesses, schools, agencies, community groups with their Ally and Community Education Program. Offering more student resources, provide access to mental health resources and support systems tailored to the needs of transgender students, such as local peer support groups like Side by Side. Provide access to LGBTQ plus affirming health guidance for middle school and high school students. Engaging the community. Collaborate with advocacy groups such as Equality Virginia, He, She, Ze, and We, and Side by Side to continually assess and improve our policies and practices. To any and all parents and caregivers here or watching, most specifically those with transgender, non-binary, gender non-conforming children, there are outstanding resources in our community for you too. The following organizations offer support, educational information, and community connection: the Virginia Anti-Violence Project, Transgender Assistance Program of Equality at Equality Virginia, Richmond PFLAG, and He, She, Ze, and We, which also provides meetings designed for adult family members that want to learn more about gender identity and how to support their gender diverse loved ones. In closing, I want to emphasize that our commitment to protecting and supporting transgender students reflects our core values of integrity, equity, and ingenuity. By taking these steps, we affirm our dedication to creating a safe and supportive educational environment for every student. Together, we can ensure that every child has the opportunity to succeed and flourish as their authentic self here in Chesterfield County. Thank you for your attention and for your commitment to all of our students.
Catherine Patterson. After that is Maria Rodriguez.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Patterson. I'm a member of the Speak Up Chesterfield team through the Family Foundation. And first, I'd like to thank all of you for your time, your commitment, and your service to our Chesterfield County Public Schools. I do appreciate you. I'd also like to remind you that the decisions you make not only affect those in the schools, but all of us who live in Chesterfield. Our children are going to grow up and become parents, teachers, legislators, business owners, and sometimes even our neighbors. They are shaped by what they see and learn and experience as they attend our public schools. I'm a teacher who spent 34 years in the Chesterfield schools and fully retired last year. I am also a parent of 3 children who attended and graduated from CCPS, all from Monacan High School. I was very involved in my children's education, and I felt valued by the teachers and the administration. But now, I am concerned that parents are being devalued in the decision-making concerning their children. I'm here tonight to urge you to adopt Governor Youngkin's parental rights policies and put parents back in the driver's seat. We need a balanced approach that respects the rights of all families to be involved in life-changing decisions in their children's lives, not a one-sided narrative. I urge you to consider the teens and families who experience real harm caused by policies that cut parents out of the process. I have 4 concerns that the parental rights policies will address. Number 1, no policy or guidance from the school should instruct teachers to hide relevant information from parents about their kids, especially regarding gender experimenting at school. Number 2, parents must be notified and given an opportunity to object before counseling regarding gender is given to their children. And number 3, protecting the constitutional freedoms of employees or students who don't want to speak words that violate their faith or their conscience. And number 4, returning to our common sense policy where students use the bathroom and locker room of their biological sex. My faith in Jesus Christ has compelled me to speak tonight, but these policies protect children of every faith. They are common sense. I'm asking you tonight to stop the delay and take action now to align CCPS with the revised transgender policies released by Governor Youngkin's Education Department. Thank you.
Maria Rodriguez.
Dear School Board, good evening. My name is Maria Rodriguez. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. I am deeply committed to the well-being and development of my child and all other students in general. And I believe a strong partnership between parents and the school is essential for ensuring the best outcomes of our children. This is more important than ever because my family, like so many others, has been directly impacted by a culture that is constantly pushing sexual experimentation onto kids. In the past, I have appreciated teachers in our Chesterfield school system who have had open communication and relationship with me as a parent. But the policies currently in place create barriers that prevent that kind of open communication. Let me give you an example. Previously, when my daughter was only in elementary school, her teacher communicated to me about peer interaction she was having that allowed me to discover that she was coming under inappropriate pressure by peers to engage in sexual experimentation that was inappropriate for her age. I am thankful to that teacher, and we need more of that open communication with parents, not less. But the current policies will likely discourage or even prevent that. The right to raise and make decisions regarding my child are entirely mine and her father's, and must be protected by both state and federal laws. Keeping parents in the dark about significant aspects of their child's life, particularly issues that may have long-term consequences, undermine these rights. In doing some research about this, I have learned that the 14th Amendment protects my right to due process, which includes the right to be involved in critical decisions concerning my child's upbringing. Any action that excludes me from these decisions without just cause, as we're not unfit parents, may likely be a violation of this constitutional right. I am also concerned about my daughter's right to privacy in school restrooms and locker rooms where students are most vulnerable. I know this as a mother and as a veteran who served in the United States Army for 20 years. Biological differences between males and females mean that allowing access based on gender identity rather than biological sex will compromise the comfort, privacy, and safety of young women in these spaces. Who will protect the rights of my daughter, who in similar situations has expressed to me her discomfort and concerns? The school must ensure that all students feel secure and respected. This policy will cause distress for female students. As a mother and citizen, I should feel comfortable sending my child to a public school. I shouldn't be fearing that while my child is at school, she may be exposed to a situation that will compromise her safety, privacy, and well-being. Who is protecting the rights of these female students like mine who are panicking about having to endure a situation like this on a daily basis? Parents are typically the best advocates for their children's needs. Excluding parents from important decisions or decisions about their child welfare not only violates parental rights, but also fails to serve the child's best interests. Thank you.
Chuck Kosal. After that's Caitlin Weston.
That's a little intimidating standing here. Thank you. My name is Chuck Kostal. I am a father of 3 CCPS students. God willing, in 4 more years, I will have 3 13-year club kids go through kindergarten through 12th grade. 2007, my family moved here. We had 1 child. And I learned a lot about what it was going to be like to be a parent from the community members. In my 20s, I was engaged in a lot of activities, employment related to students, before and after school, summer programs, mentorship, sports, you name it, before I ended up moving on into another direction. But with that, I learned a really valuable lesson right off the bat. Anytime something would happen to a child in a group environment, and the parent wasn't notified or informed in any way, shape, or form, and they'd hear it from their kid when they got home, it always left them really frustrated the next day. They'd always come to the boss and, why didn't I know about this? And that instilled a lot, right? At 20-something years old, I had an idea of what a parent might be like, but I mean, I had 1 toddler. I didn't really know. They start growing up, and your whole being is wanting to protect your children, right? And not protect them from all harm, just to have an influence, to have the opportunity to help them grow up, to make decisions, and to learn. And I'm here tonight because what I've heard is that that's in jeopardy, right? That we don't have a policy in place today that guarantees that right, that I get to be involved in my children's decisions, that it potentially could be kept from me, that I might actually have to ask for something that should just be automatic. I grew up in a time and a place that doesn't feel like all that long ago. Truly, 1995 doesn't seem that long ago. You didn't do anything in school without your parents knowing about it. Heck, I'm not even sure there weren't college professors that would have somehow found my parents and told them if I was messing up. I just can't imagine ever not knowing if something critical in my child's life was occurring. We've all got experiences over the last many years of things that have happened. Mental health with 3 daughters during COVID was no exception. And I'm very grateful to the coaches and the organizations that they were still engaged with that brought some things to our attention, and we were able to work with our kids. Parenting is the hardest thing that I never knew I was going to have to encounter. Absolutely. But I wouldn't want anything else. And I don't want to do it without the teachers. CCPS has been phenomenal. There have been many teachers that have come and shared little nuggets of information that we need to know to help our children. So whether there's a policy in place today that says that a teacher can come or that I have to ask, I'd like this school board to affirm very strongly that the parents are the most important aspect in the overall development of a child. I just don't see any other option. You guys get them for 35 hours a week, what, 32, 38 weeks out of the year. There's another 245 hours a week. They're sleeping a lot of it, right? That I'm responsible for. My wife and I are responsible for the well-being and upbringing of our children. And I like partnering with CCPS. And I want to continue, and I want to advocate for us, for our county. So I want to be one of those parents that taught me how to be a parent. And I want to ask the school board to please affirm what has been asked tonight, to pass the model policies, and to show that parents really matter in the county and in the school system. Thank you.
Caitlin Weston.
Good evening. My name is Caitlin Weston, an educator and parent of 2 children. I am here to thank you from the bottom of my heart for continuing to support and protect all Chesterfield County School students, including our transgender and non-binary youth. Your current policies are what our students need. They prohibit discrimination, harassment, and bullying based on an individual's gender identity, allow access to facilities that correspond to a student's gender identity, and allow students to participate in school programs that align with their gender identity. Thank you for continuing to provide an inclusive environment that is working for our students and families. As I shared earlier, I have 2 beautiful daughters. I was speaking with my oldest, an 11-year-old cisgender girl, about tonight's school board meeting. She would like me to share on her behalf that she firmly believes all humans should be allowed to be who they are, not who someone else thinks they should be. I carry her courage with me tonight as I share a bit more about her sister, a 10-year-old transgender girl. My youngest daughter teaches me some of the biggest life lessons I'm still working on learning: how to live life to the fullest every day and how to embrace your whole self. I cannot imagine a world where she is not allowed to be who she is. A world where she would not be able to use a girls' restroom at school, where she could be dead-named and harassed by peers and adults just for being herself. She, along with all of our youth, deserve to be affirmed and respected, and that is what your current policies do. As I'm sure you know, there are some really scary statistics about suicide and our LGBTQ youth, and as the parent of a trans girl, this scares me the most. Suicide is the 2nd leading cause of death among young people aged 10 to 24, and LGBTQ youth are more than 4 times as likely to attempt suicide than their peers. There are a few key protective factors for LGBTQ youth suicide that give me peace of mind when sending my daughter to a school that affirms, supports, and respects all their students, like Chesterfield currently does. Some of the key protective factors for our youth include affirming spaces and activities, especially at school. The Trevor Project's research has found that LGBTQ youth who found their school to be affirming and offer their youth the ability to participate in extracurricular activities reported lower rates of attempting suicide. They also include policies and practices that support transgender and non-binary youth. Transgender and non-binary youth attempt suicide less when their pronouns are respected and when they have access to spaces online, at school, and home that affirm their gender identity. Transgender and non-binary youth who reported having pronouns respected by all or most people in their lives attempted suicide at half the rate of those who did not have their pronouns respected. It is very simple. Continuing to support your students in the way you have been will continue to save lives. Our schools need to be a place where our youth feel a sense of belonging. As a parent of a trans girl, this couldn't be more important to me, for her to feel affirmed, welcomed, and safe at school. I want my daughter to continue to live her life fully every day and be accepted for who she truly is. Thank you for continuing to do everything in your power to affirm, protect, and respect all of our youth. Thank you for your time.
Bakura Shabazz. Ann Tatus.
Good evening. My name is Bakura Shabazz, and I am the mother of 2 current Chesterfield County Public Schools Systems children and 1 that graduated from Matoaka. I'm here today because my daughter was brutally assaulted on February the 16th in her cafeteria at Thomasdale High School. From that brutal assault, she had to be rushed to the hospital because the young man who was on top of her, beating her brutally with closed fists, bust her eye open. I sent this information to everyone on this board, and I also came at the last school board meeting, and I spoke with you, Ms. Coker, who said you would get back to me. You have not. You have completely erased my entire daughter's existence, and I will not tolerate that from you. I spoke with Ms. Chatters. She has been the only one that had reached out to me, and I told her to stop because I didn't want there to be any type of retaliation against her, and I'm also aware that you all have told her to stop speaking to me. As an advocate and having been an advocate for over 27 years in the state of Virginia and nationally, I want to say thank you to all of you all who are out to protect children, because it's important that every child has a right to be protected. And the fact that my daughter's experience in the school system has completely been erased has caused me to have to pull both of my children out of Chesterfield Public School System. They will never return to the school system. They are not safe. Nobody else's children are safe. The SRO, when I attempted to try to keep my daughter safe from this young man who not only assaulted my daughter, but has a previous issue of assault on another female in the school, told me, threatened me, tried to intimidate me, said if I wanted to take a charge out on the other young man for brutally assaulting my daughter, he would take a charge out on my child. This is the charge that my daughter has right now in Chesterfield Juvenile Domestic Relationship Court for assault and battery for protecting herself. You all told her she did not have a right to protect herself, that she should have told someone. But while that young man was on top of my daughter in the cafeteria, a teacher stopped, watched, went out of the cafeteria, went and got the principal while my daughter was lying on the floor getting beat. Nobody helped my daughter. And so while we are talking about this very important issue today, and I believe that God makes no mistakes, that you and I all were here at the same time, that when we talk about the trauma that our children carry because they are not protected by the adults that are entrusted, you all ran for office and said that you wanted to protect our children. You did not. And I don't know if it was because she's a Black young woman, but I'm calling for your resignation. This is ridiculous. This happened in February. You looked me in my face the last meeting and said you would get back to me. You did not. You failed my daughter, and you failed every other Black child in this school district, and we will not tolerate it. There is no excuse for it. And so when our children don't have anywhere to go, they carry that and they end up committing suicide. I've seen it so many times before. When children don't feel safe, when you all put us in a position where we can't protect our own children also. We're their first line of defense. That is a horrible experience for a child who's trying to grow and trying to process all these things, and they're not understanding, and then they start to feel worthless.
Thank you, Ms. Shabazz. Ann Tatus. Wendy Little.
Greetings. I'm Wendy Little, also known as Aaron's mom, across the state of Virginia, across the country, the United States of Virginia. My first full-size notes, my child still sits in poo at school. This was over 2 years ago, in April, I believe, during a school board meeting, because the school board was paying no attention to me about the fact that my son required medical assistance for his incontinence problems. That was for 4 entire years. The last 2 years, he's had no access to education under the laws under which you all took oath to support the U.S. Constitution, federal laws and regulations, and the Virginia Constitution. I've heard a lot of passionate parents here talk about their rights, their children's rights, and both mine and my sons have been squashed for 4 years, and I have had it. Okay? We're going to have a discussion about illegal things going on in your school division. Illegal contracts called attorney-client privileged that are directing the negligence, medical negligence, as well as educational negligence of my son has been inflicted upon us and our family for the last 4 years. This is not okay. This does not represent who you're supposed to be. This is not supposed to be going on your behalf. Okay? And there are individuals named in that who know better, who have been involved and engaged in my son's situation for years. They know that I have been bullied, harassed, beat up, spit up, chewed out, everything repeatedly, and have done nothing. Parents' rights matter. Parent safety matter. The children's safety matters. So also, this is mostly going to be a documentary thing. Also, Sands Anderson why is Sands Anderson acting on your behalf without your informed consent as a board and filing charges on people and filing actions without the consent of the board? And you didn't go and ask for consent of the Board of Supervisors, who controls your budget. There is excessive spoliation of evidence. Sands Anderson put in my son's documents an exhibit recently that discusses a Henrico County schools. It says it on page 1, Henrico County schools. We're not in Henrico County schools. Aaron Little is a resident of Chesterfield County, under which he is covered under, write this down, Andrew F., 2017 Supreme Court case. And when your school board attorney perjured himself in my son's first truancy hearing, which got continued because of my severe illness, he perjured himself by saying that a child had to be enrolled to receive educational supports and services. That's probably the biggest law that you're breaking. You cannot kick kids out of school and not provide education, and you also cannot provide education, period, at all, under no circumstances. This is highly problematic. The illegal conclusions are very clear, and it's going to stop. They have messed up your data so bad that we've got Henrico, Powhatan, Chesterfield, and who is Tynesha Giles? How is she filing false malicious charges upon Aaron? She's supposed to be the one providing the services and supports Aaron needs for attendance intervention, for which you received $22 million. We have some very serious problems here. I'm going to leave this information, and I expect to hear from you and that you direct your appointed superintendent to fix these problems in full ASAP.
Thank you, Ms. Little. Christine Melendez.
Good evening, school board members, Dr. Murray. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this evening. I first wanted to say thank you. Thank you for your hard work this summer, the countless hours you spent reading and conversing to not only have discussions around the superintendent search, but to also provide policies on paid parental leave and bereavement leave, two major issues that have come to the attention of the Chesterfield Education Association that staff members have brought to you, and you guys did something about it. So thank you, seriously. These things are major for the retention and recruitment of outstanding educators who are getting ready to serve our students across the county next week. I also wanted to say thank you for prioritizing a caring and respectful working and learning environment for the start of the 2024-2025 school year. Policies like Policy 1015 promote a sense of belonging that helps not only our students, but our staff make social connections with peers, which improves everyone's mental health. And we know that if the mental health of our staff is top-notch, that their teaching and their services to our students are also going to be of a high caliber. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your service, not only as school board members, but as parents yourselves.
Robert Ebereth.
Good evening. I'm Robert Everett from Virginia Children First. A lot was said tonight. I had a lot to say, and again, always changes what I'm going to say. So I'm going to start real quick. As far as a parent being notified if their kid's suffering from gender dysphoria or anything of that sort, the parent needs to be notified. I totally 100% agree with that portion of it. I'm not going to give my opinion on Youngkin's policy. I'm going to move on. There are opt-outs that you can actually give your child at the state level and the county level, which I've used and utilized them a lot. So I'm known as the opt-out king for my son. So he gets opted out pretty much of everything with some discussion. So you can actually opt your child out of the mental health and the psychological screening, and you'd be notified. And this worked really well for me because when my son was being bullied, I got directly connected to my principal, and we talked about it, and we came up with an action plan together, not the counselors, me and my wife. So there's those options so you can opt your child out of that stuff. All right. Let's move on, because that's been beat to death today. So, I've been advocating for flagless pay policy. I bet And so I've been basically emailing all counties in the state of Virginia, all over Facebook, all over the website. And guess what? Shenandoah County actually adopted one. It looks very similar to mine. So I don't know where they got it from. I wasn't in connection with them, but I do have it here, which I'll submit in the minutes. And I've also made 6 copies for anybody that wants to read it. It's a great example to kind of go by if you've already trying to draft something up. It's basically mine, but it goes into a little bit of depth. So I'll submit that as well, because that's a good template, and I'm glad somebody finally did it. And I have plans for that at the state level as well. So basically, with just the official United States flag, the Commonwealth Virginia flag, any government or Chesterfield County flag, any of the armed services, public schools, and then there's some other stipulations here where you have to get special permission. But anything that's not on this list is not permitted in the schools, in their schools, and that actually went into effect. It's actually into effect in their new school year. So that is a good thing. I was a little excited about that. It's nonpartisan, in my opinion. So anyhow, okay. Mental health and the special education system that's going on right now. It's hard for me not to talk about it because I know some of the ins and outs of what's been going on with a certain case here. And I've actually, spoke to Ms. Little at quite an extent level. And I just can't believe we got to come up with a solution. Somehow we got to come up with a solution for her son. It affects his mental health. It affects her mental health. And it's just it's a humane thing. And so I would encourage you guys to work with her as strong as possible, come up with a solution. I'll try to continually talk to her for what it's worth, but we can't have that going on in our school system, and I can't believe you guys do either. So let's come up with a solution on that. And I know I've always said that, but nobody's really speaking of special education. Some of the IEPs that are floating around to me just are unrealistic. Some parents or kids are actually getting not approved for the IEPs, and then they go for the secondary evaluation and they get approved. So I don't know what's going on with the approval system, but we maybe need to kind of look into that too. Don't really have a whole lot more to say, but I will, if it's okay if I can give you the 6 copies and you can hand those out. I'll also put them in the minutes. And I support all children. I think, the parent has to know if their child's going to suffer, is suffering from gender dysphoria. They have to know their health. It's their right. It's their 14th Amendment right, and it's a due process clause. And it basically states that the Amendment of the United States protects the fundamental right of parents to make decisions about their children's care, custody, and control. This includes the right to direct their children's upbringing, education, health care, and the Supreme Court has also ruled that the state, if the parent is not deemed, then that's a little bit different story. But they're protected under this already.
Everett.
Thank you very much. Robert Everett, Virginia Shown First.
Mike Carabinos.
Okay, a lot tonight, so time is short, so I'll be brief. I wanted to read from the 2021 Northam Policy. Disclosing a student's gender identity can pose imminent safety risk, such as losing family support and housing. LGBT youth have a 120% increased risk in experiencing homelessness compared to youth who identify as heterosexual and cisgender. Less than 1 in 3 transgender youth report having a supportive household. 28% of LGBT youth experience homelessness, including 38% of transgender girls, 39% transgender boys, 35% non-binary students. These kids aren't leaving because they're having, a tough day. They're leaving because they're being thrown out, cast out, or fleeing abuse. Safety is the key to that policy, and the safety of the child is something we should all be concerned with. The Northam Model Policy is 28 pages long. It has 2 pages of acknowledgments of additional groups, experts, members of the community, mental health experts, medical experts who were all consulted on the formation of that policy. The Youngkin policy is 18 pages long, and there is no transparency as to who was involved in creating it. It seems like it was drafted to pander to an ideological slogan with little or no consultation with experts. The Northam policy is in the best interest of the student, The Youngkin policy is in the best interest of a political campaign. Also, I wanted to address a statement that was made earlier regarding Speak Up Chesterfield being a grassroots organization when they are actually part of the Virginia Family Foundation, which is a group that's been around since 1985 with a $1 million budget. That is part of the Focus on the Family, an anti-LGBT organization with hundreds of employees based out of California, has a $93 million budget in 2016, the most recent year I could find. They promote conversion therapy. They have ties to the Koch brothers. They've received millions of dollars from Betsy DeVoe. They are not a grassroots organization, and this is not a grassroots gathering that we have seen tonight. I also wanted to talk about my faith in Jesus, which teaches me to love my neighbor, have empathy, sympathy, and to care for one another. Some other fact checks I want to point out here. Their statement was that CCPS policies lock parents out. The CCPS policies include the parental cooperation. If anyone wants to change their name or gender markers on CCPS documentation, the parents have to be involved. There was reference to CCPS violates the law regarding transgender youth. The CCPS is in compliance with the actual law. The Youngkin policy perhaps does violate HB 145 in its intent. Regarding compelled speech, decent professional treatment of students is not compelled speech. Statement regarding many being harmed. It's surprising that a lawyer was unable to actually bring up real events and examples of the harm that he's claiming. The statement regarding pushing sexual experimentation. Acknowledging someone's identity is not going to encourage a cis child to be trans. It will let a trans kid know that they have a right to exist. Representation is important, which is why flags are important also. There's a claim that bathroom access violates safety and privacy, and I quite frankly really can't get past the fact that checking what is in a kid's pants so they can go potty is weird.
Thank you, Mr. Carabinas.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, that concludes this evening's public comment.
Before we continue with the rest of this evening's meeting, starting with the superintendent's report, I would like to call a 5-minute recess. Board members will reconvene. Next, we have this evening's superintendent's report. Dr. Murray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tonight we have 3 presentations. First is a presentation from Sean Smith on the first day of our year-round school at Bellwood Elementary.
Madam Chairman, board members, we want to take this time to recognize, obviously, all of our schools who are starting school next week, but as we all know, our year-round school, Bellwood Elementary, started school on July 22nd. This video is kind of a quick highlight of their first day of school.
Thank you for that presentation. It was very heartwarming to see the kids. Board members, do you have any discussion?
Only that first day of school is magical, and to see those students happy coming off the bus and into their classrooms and learning about everything that they did this summer. So it's a lot of fun.
And I would also offer that if how Bellwood has kicked off their first month of school is any indicator as to how the rest of our schools are going to shine their very brightest next week and beyond, we're in great shape. Next up, Madam Chair, we have a presentation from Dr. High on end of school year update.
All right, good evening, school board members. Dr. Murray. This evening, we will be providing you an end-of-the-year update. This presentation includes some division highlights on curriculum and instruction, continuous school improvement, preliminary SOL data and accreditation, our graduation data, and our summer learning program. Some division highlights are that we're 100% schools are accredited. Several of our CCPS principals were recognized for their leadership. To name a few, Julie Buntich and Scott Elementary staff were recognized as the 2023 National ESCA Distinguished School. Nina Brink, principal of O.B. Gates, won the Virginia Distinguished Principal Award. Dr. Patrice Wilson from Bensley Elementary School will be our VAESP president-elect. Dr. Randy Smith from Ettrick Elementary School will serve as the Capital Zone Director. Dr. Matt Stripmatter, who was recognized tonight, was named our Virginia Outstanding Middle School Principal of the Year. Ms. Rebecca Thompson, Tomahawk Creek Principal, was named the Middle School Virginia PTA Power Partner Principal of the Year, as well as just yesterday, Tomahawk Creek received the 2024 Association for Middle Level Education School of Distinctions. This recognition honors schools that have demonstrated outstanding commitment to middle grades best practices. We also have Justin Savoy, who serves as our coordinator for our Recovery Academy. He and 2 of his students participated in a summit at the White House back in September of 2023. Of course, we have Davis Elementary and Western Area Middle School. Construction is underway with a completion date of August of 2025. And then the last highlight is our food services department served approximately 9 million meals and snacks to Chesterfield County students in the 2023-24 school year. From curriculum and instruction, the Division of Teaching and Learning supported instruction with our elementary schools utilizing a newly approved open court literacy resource for Tier 1 instruction. Our professional learning offerings were aligned to the strategic plan,
and improvement for teaching and learning. Here you can see the numbers offered to our staff: 2,994 offerings and 49,427 participants. CCPS Online served 4,764 students in 6,896 course enrollments. Here you'll see our online PACE program supported 310 students who were overage and undercredited with coursework to get them back on track for on-time graduation. And then our Stride tutoring sessions have been popular with our students. In grades 3 through 12, we served 42,499 on-demand synchronous sessions were completed. For continuous school improvement, all of our schools were engaged this year in a continuous improvement process. Each school had 3 goals centered around: Goal 1 was academic achievement in math, science, or English. Goal 2 was supporting students with disabilities. And Goal 3 centered around student engagement, which includes chronic absenteeism, graduation rates, or our College, Career, and Civic Readiness Index. School leadership and teaching and learning departments collaborated to support our schools in the development and implementation of our school improvement and innovation plans. 10 of our schools received targeted support throughout the school year with meetings in 6-week intervals where central office staff and school staff work collaboratively to address goals in their SIP plan. For our preliminary and SOL data accreditation, all schools, as I said before, will be accredited. Overall, SOL pass rates have increased in mathematics, science, and writing. The reading SOL pass rates remain the same as in the previous years. The final state accreditation data is expected to be released from the VDOE in September of 2024. As you heard during the work session, there will be some changes to the accountability system for next year, or this current year that we're going into, 24-25. Now to a time we love to celebrate, and that's our graduation. Our high school team successfully recognized our 2024 graduates. There were 4,760 graduates in May. This includes students who earned advanced studies, IB, standard, and adaptive studies diplomas. The percentages here show the percent of credentials earned by total graduates. Graduation rates will be finalized in late September or early October. This slide outlines the education and career paths that students plan to take beyond their high school experience. Note here that 3 of the 22 post-high school ROTC are military academies. 2 are West Point, and 1 is for the Coast Guard. The scholarships accepted, these are self-reported by students, and this year there were over $42 million. Now for summer graduation, which was held on July 25th. Here are a few pictures of families at our graduation. They were very excited. There were 120 summer graduates, and more than 98 of the students participated in the ceremony on July 25th. This ceremony included early graduates and students completing coursework over the summer. There were 57 students who graduated early. 47 graduated in this year's cohort, and then for the 2019-20 cohort, there were 14, and we have 2 students who received their GED. Career and technical education. You've heard about most of these recognitions tonight, and they were honored. CTE seems to really be knocking it out of the park. I won't go through them because all of the ones that are listed on my presentation received their award tonight. Summer programs offered. We had 5 programs offered during our summer. We had summer school, which was our in-person instruction, and it was provided to students who needed additional support. In our elementary grades, they were students who had 1 or 2s, and for our secondary, it were students who had Ds or Fs. We also offered an extended day program for our Title I elementary students, and any student who attended the summer school site at these physical locations were eligible to attend the extended day program. We had 2 2-week academies that were held. One was at Midlothian High School and 1 at Carver College and Career, and this was to support our SOL, SAT, and WISE academies. All of our camps were highly successful. It included Camp Epic, the Cultural Arts Camp, World Language Camp, Team Skills Basketball, the health science camp. CCPS Online was also a success, and they accelerated for coursework. All right, here we look at our attendance. Our total attendance for all summer school participants was 11,526, and this is up from last year when it was 9,304. And in our pre-K-12 program, we served 8,885 students. That concludes my presentation. Any questions?
Thank you, Dr. High.
You're welcome.
Any questions, board members? Any comments? Keep it up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. High. Madam Chair, the last presentation this evening is a presentation from Mr. Davis on the Falling Creek Middle School ribbon cutting and an update on Bensley Elementary School.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Murray. Boy, did we have an exciting day on Thursday, August the 1st. We cut that ribbon to a school that had been anticipated for years. And what a school it is. I'm just going to share a few photos from that day and, again, also talk about the transition of the Bensley students to the former school occupied by Falling Creek Middle. Again, it's the only three-story middle school in Chesterfield County. You see it's got a bow on it here right before we cut that ribbon. We had some great dignitaries speak. I wanted to put some up here from CCPS that really led the charge. Our former superintendent, Dr. Doherty, our fine principal, Quincy Waller, and our school board representative from the Dale District. It's the largest middle school in Central Virginia. We were all there to see it. And then we celebrated, cut that ribbon. It was on time and under budget. Had county representatives help us that all helped us get through the process in the construction. We went inside and took a look. It's a capacity of 1,800 students. So here's some photos of some of our larger areas, such as the auditorium, the gymnasium, the cafeteria. And over 250,000 square feet, separate floors for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students. The building's immaculate. It's ready for the kids. I can't wait till next Monday morning to get there shortly after 7 a.m. to see them walk in. And so the transition for the Bensley students has been a big summer project. We have 11 weeks from when school ended to when it starts next week. So this is a diagram that I think we shared back in either May or June showing some of the shared facilities. The Falling Creek Middle parking lot is large, plenty of capacity there in the front, but they will share a bus loop between the two buildings. And that bus loop is under construction as we speak. I've seen progress in the last 2 days. It's going to be buttoned up and striped in time for Monday morning, but some of this work is coming down to the wire. At the other end, the Bensley staff will park, and the drop-off for parents will also take place there. So students are entering from both ends of the building, whether they come by bus or by parent transportation. We've got playgrounds that have been moved and are being pieced together in the rear, and some court sports area, and the cafeteria is shown there also. Not going to get into the details of the building. The lower level is on your left. The upper level is on the right. Our older students will stay downstairs, 4th and 5th graders. Gymnasium, resource areas, some special education are downstairs. And upstairs are our younger students between K and 3. We want to also note that bell time change. It's always worthy of reminding parents. Bensley used to be on modified Tier 1, arriving at 7:45. Now they're going to be the second of the 3 schools on Hopkins Road that'll be arriving in the morning. For Bensley, that's at 8:30. They'll be dismissing at 3 o'clock. In each circumstance, they're tucked in between Falling Creek Middle, Falling Creek Elementary. This is the schedule that we've been working with this summer. There was an awful lot to do, and I think we're going to cross the finish line. The teachers are in place. Dr. Patrice Wilson, wonderful principal, been a great partner for us. She's been giving us a list about every other day of things that she needs from the construction team and the facilities team, and her team's working really hard. So again, I'm going to walk over from the middle school to Bensley on Monday morning and hopefully see lots of smiling faces. And if anybody stubs their toe, we'll be there to help them. So That's the end of my presentation this evening. I'd be happy to take any questions if there are any.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Board members, any questions? Ms. Chatters?
I just want to say, if you haven't been through the building, it is fabulous. It'll take your breath away. I'm so excited to do the same thing, to watch those kids walk in. It's going to be great. Thank you so much for everyone who worked on that project.
Next, we have action items. Mr. Smith.
Madam Chair, board members, you have before you memorandum number 112-24. Just to kind of set the stage, I'm going to walk through the memo, the parliamentary piece, pause and kind of talk a little bit more casually about some of the policies, and then we'll come back to more parliamentary pieces to it. Staff recommends new policies, revisions to current policies and regulations as follows. Revisions of policy 4135, management of students who sustained a concussion. Policy updated to reflect changes to protocol. Revisions of policy 5230, sick leave. Policy updated to reflect revisions to policy 5255, pay parental leave, stillbirth section update. New policy 5235, bereavement leave. Revisions to policy 5255, pay parental leave, stillbirth section update. School Board policy 1200 provides that, quote, if circumstances warrant immediate action on the proposed policy regulation, the school board may suspend its rules and bring the policy up for regulation up for immediate adoption following a first reading, end quote. Therefore, it's recommended the school board suspend its regular rules of policy adoption by waiving a second reading of the policies contained in this memorandum and approve each following the first reading. Proposed changes have been reviewed by the school board attorney. If approved, new policies, revisions of current policies and regulations become effective immediately. I would note we have listed in the memorandum a physical impact with regard to policy, the new policy 5235, bereavement leave. The cost is estimated at $200,000. So to pause for a moment, just to walk us through kind of how we came to this stage. During your June 17, 2024 meeting, the board approved paid parental leave, which is a new paid leave policy for qualified employees. Under this new policy, eligible employees can receive up to 8 weeks of paid parental leave to care for the newborn or adopted child, foster care placement, or medical recovery related to the birth of a child. The addition of paid parental leave did spark additional school board conversation and discussion, which led to the board approving and looking at this evening, ultimately, a conversation regarding bereavement leave and updating the sick leave policies. So what's new in this memorandum, and I'll pause and say, you do have one additional policy that's in there, which regards to management of concussions. That's largely representative of revisions that have been made through our conversations with VCU, who helps us with our athletic training staff. So with the new policy with regard to bereavement leave, they did require 2 additional changes in your other policies. So with paid parental leave, you have a revision there, which essentially is this. In the event of a stillbirth, both the birthing and non-birthing parents will be eligible for 2 weeks of paid parental leave. Initially, only birthing parents were eligible for 2 weeks of paid parental leave after a stillbirth. That was the policy adopted in June. The new policy is bereavement leave, new policy 5235. That grants employees up to 24 hours, which is 3 days, of paid bereavement leave per fiscal year in the event of a death of a close family member. The policy does go into specifics with regards to that. The last piece is a revision to your sick leave policy. Essentially with that, language referencing the use of sick leave for the death of a family member was removed from that policy, and also added references to, which would be a new policy, bereavement leave. I would note that as we did when the board took action in June, we will communicate, should the board act this evening, directly to employees tomorrow morning with regard to the new bereavement leave policy, the revisions to the paid parental leave policy as well. As we've noted throughout that experience, we have suggested to employees that certainly every employee's circumstance is different, it's unique, and that they work closely with compensation and benefits along the way. I would also note, just to reflect, and a thank you to Kim Huff, Sammy Rubiglios, Bob Meister, and Jenny O'Quinn for their work in bringing forward for the board the conversation you had this evening with regards to revisions of the policies as well as some work we've done in anticipation for providing the information to employees tomorrow. With that, Madam Chairman, I have to answer any questions you have, and then at the appropriate time, I can read out the 2 recommended actions.
Board members, any questions? Go ahead and go forward.
Recommended action number 1, for the reasons set forth in this memorandum, it's recommended the school board suspend its rules as set forth in policy 1200, policy adoption, revision, suspension, and waive a second reading of the policies contained in this memorandum.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Board members, may I have a motion for the board to suspend its rules and waive second reading?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, would you call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. Thank you. The motion carries. Board members, may I have a motion to adopt the policies to become effective immediately?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Board members, is there any discussion regarding the policy? Go
Uh,
ahead, Mr. Pronto.
In regards to the policy, this is something that has been long overdue for our staff, and I am just so proud of this board in supporting this initiative so that our staff does not have to burn through their sick time. They do feel supported by the policies that are set forth to support what goes on outside the home. And so with that being said, I just want to appreciate the actions that we're about to take here. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pronto. Any other discussion? Board members, there's been a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. Next, we have memo number 113-24 with Mr. Davis.
Good evening again. The first first board meeting that I attended in February 2020 included the public hearing for the CIP that was planned at that time. Now, I remember a citizen that stood up and spoke and said, "Please don't forget Bensley. We really need a new school. Bensley's time has come." We have this memorandum, 13-24, subject Bensley Elementary School Building and Site Construction Contract Award. An invitation for bid for the replacement Bensley Elementary School Building and Site Construction Project was issued on June 28th, 2024. 6 bids were received by Chesterfield County Procurement on July 30th, 2024 at 2 p.m. Bids were opened and read by Procurement and tallied. I'm not going to read all of the vendors that bid, but we were happy to get that much attention and very happy to get in what appears to be an economical proposal from Oyster Point Construction Company has been determined to be the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for the replacement Bensley Elementary School Building and Site Construction Project with an award recommendation provided by the project architect. Your attachment A to the memorandum is the memo from Mosley Architects that has studied the proposal, certified that it looks great, and we're ready to go to work. Got a schedule that's shown in here. If you approve this project tonight, we will probably be giving a notice to proceed to Oyster Point in early September and a groundbreaking ceremony shortly thereafter. And they will mobilize for construction, and we're going to open this school in August of 2026. So our recommended action, staff recommends that the school board authorize the procurement director to award a construction contract to Oyster Point Construction Company for the replacement Bensley Elementary School Building and Site Construction Project in the amount of $43,451,250 and approve any necessary change orders up to the full budgeted amount for this project.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Board members, may I have a motion to approve memo number 113-24 as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Board members, is there any discussion?
I too am happy we are here. Finally.
Very excited to get rolling on this. There's been a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye.
Stephen Pronto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Todd Heffron.
Aye. The memo is approved. Next, we have memo number 114-24 with Mr. Roberts.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I'm here to present Memorandum 114-24, designation of the interim superintendent. The State Board of Education regulations state that in the case of a vacancy during the regular four-year term of office of a division superintendent, an acting superintendent shall be designated by the board and to serve until the newly appointed superintendent assumes office. Dr. Mervyn B. Doherty will retire from the school division officially on August 31st, creating a vacancy in the office of the superintendent. As you know, the board has retained Hazard, Young, Attia, and Associates to assist you in the search of the next superintendent schools, which is ongoing. Dr. Murray is currently serving as the superintendent's acting designee through August 31st. Effective September 1st, 2024, the board seeks to appoint Dr. Murray as the interim superintendent upon Dr. Doherty's retirement until a newly appointed superintendent assumes office. There is no fiscal impact to the school division, and is recommended that Dr. John Murray, currently serving as the superintendent's acting designee, be designated as the interim superintendent effective September 1st, 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Board members, may I have a motion to approve memo number 114-24 as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Board members, is there any discussion? Well, I'm very excited too. I can't speak for my colleagues. No, we very much look forward to your leadership. Board members, there's been a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Aye. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Stephen Pronto.
Dr. Murray, I look forward to working with you, sir. Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Todd Heffron.
Aye. The memo is approved. Next, we have items for board review. Madam Clerk, would you please read the items for this evening?
Madam Chair, tonight's agenda includes the following items for board review. Number 1, Magisterial District Improvement Funds FY 2024. Number 2, Magisterial District Improvement Funds FY 2025. Budget change. Number 3, Budget Change Request Summary across categories, May 2024. Number 4, Budget Change Request Summary across categories, June 2024. Number 5, FY 2024, May Expenditures versus Appropriations. Number 6, Board Committee Reports. Number 7, Pre-K Update, May 2024. Number 8, CCPS Strategic Plan Progress Review.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we have this evening's superintendent remarks with Dr. Murray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I would just like to thank the folks who remained. I think it very rare that we get such a decent crowd that sticks with us to the finish line. So thank you. And on that note, I just want to thank the parents and community members who came out this evening to offer public comment, whether they agreed with one another or not. Civil discourse is powerful, and I appreciate folks thoughtfully sharing their opinion. Secondly, I would like to acknowledge my heartfelt and humble gratitude to you all, the board, for your designation of me to be the interim superintendent of this wonderful school division. In fact, a very full circle moment for me, having been raised here the entirety of my life, matriculated through K through 12, student taught here, and am in my 21st year working professionally. So to all the people who've had an impact along the way, thank you, especially my former and current colleagues. And on that note, I would say that I have always and will continue to be compelled to leave Chesterfield in a better place than when we started that particular year. We had a great new teacher work week last week, filled with mentoring and professional development. I would be remiss to not give Peyton Anderson and Missy Hill and the rest of that team a shout out for the great work that they did to prepare our new leaders for the career path in front of them. The rest of our staff came back yesterday. We were excited to see them. Hopefully they're as excited to be back as we are to have them. Yesterday, our cabinet and other pertinent directors met to put the finishing touches on being ready for Monday and beyond. And one particular highlight out of there, it was the first time that most of us could recall of the problem of having more bus drivers than we do route packages. I mentioned that with great hope and promise that our transportation will be on time. And however, we also want to acknowledge that the first few weeks have kinks, delays as kids get used to what their bus assignments are in the afternoon as parents take pictures on departure. We adjust ridership, et cetera, to accommodate stops that may be a little more full than we projected based on parent input on whether their students were going to be on the bus or not. And then lastly, I just want to say thank you to all of our staff members in the trenches who really make the work happen and make us shine bright. You heard in work session and at the beginning of this evening's business meeting, all of the wonderful things that our folks are doing and getting recognized for, not just locally, but on national and state levels. And so we recognize that while leaders may set the course, they're the ones that apply the action and do the real work of getting our kids moving forward academically. So thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Dr. Murray. Next, we have announcements, communications, and board member comments. Board members, are there any announcements or comments? Yes, Ms. Hudgens.
Yes, in line with what Dr. Murray just said, this is Teacher Work Week, and as some of us know, Teacher Work Week is when you drag all your stuff out of hiding and you put it up and make your classrooms pretty, and you write notes and you are excited and you learn your kids' names and you try to connect the faces with the names, and it's very exciting. And I guess sounds like I miss it. I do miss it. I might have to go visit some schools. But I just want to wish all the teachers out there doing that work, I want them to know that we see them and what they do matters, and that the little smiling faces or the big smiling faces that come into their classroom, they are making a difference for a lifetime. They have the chance, the opportunity to do that. And so what you're doing is, it deeply matters. And so I just want to thank you for all that effort, and we look forward to an incredible school year. Thanks. Okay. Surprisingly quiet. Oh, Mr. Pronto.
Madam Chair, thank you. I was slow on the draw and pushing my button. So we have a lot going on in Chesterfield County, and we live and work in a great community, and we champion our schools as much as we can. And I know the Matoka District getting started on Monday with the new school year, a lot of excitement, like my colleagues said, in teachers, but also in parents to send our kids back to school and for our kids to be re-engaged and to be educated. That is the goal, why we're here, is to educate our children. We are here to ensure that we are giving them the best shot possible when they graduate from CCPS. That job in and of itself is not easy. And it is not beyond my understanding as a parent to ensure that our parents are engaged, that our parents are informed, and that our parents have a say in what goes on with their children. Because at the end of the day, I am of the belief that the child does not belong to the school system, but the child belongs to the parent. With that being said, we live in a democratic society, and we respect and hear both sides of the story. Although there are times where we may not agree, we will agree to disagree, but we must move forward together as a community. For within itself, if it's divided, it will not stand. I'd also like to address a comment that was made to one of my colleagues. For information purposes, when an event happens in a district, for example, Midlothian, the Midlothian rep, it would not be professional for me to intrude without that rep's permission and partnering together, if that's what was needed. We respect the boundaries that are drawn on the map of the districts, and there's 5 of them, and that's why we have 5 members sitting on this board. I fully support Ann Coker. I support her decision-making, and I support her desire to see her community and her district thrive. I'm also very excited that we as a board have passed a bereavement leave. As I mentioned earlier, our staff have gone many years in Chesterfield County with having to burn their sick time when a loved one passes away. And that sick time is eaten up very quickly, especially if that teacher or staff member has a family, and especially if that family contains little ones, because we've got doctor's appointments and physicals and games to attend and practices to rush off to, and sometimes it just doesn't work out to where all we have left is a sick bank to rely on. So I'm very proud of this board for championing the bereavement leave in addition to the parental leave that was voted on in their last session. So with that, Madam Chair, I appreciate this board. I appreciate everyone that came out this evening. And our goal at the end of this, and I'll speak for myself as a representative of the Matoaka District, is to ensure that every child is educated and that we champion our community as best we can. And I thank everyone for coming out this evening.
Any other comments? I would just like to say with Teacher Work Week this week, very excited to have our teachers in the building. And then I'm not trying to outshine the teachers here, but man, when those kids come back next week, next Monday and Tuesday, that's when the real magic is going to happen. Very excited. It's fun to be still be excited about the first day of school. And Dr. Murray, we just feel very confident in your leadership. We appreciate your willingness to take on this role. We know your Chesterfield roots are deep, and we are thrilled that you're willing to take this on for us. And we are, like I said, we're confident in your leadership. The school board will hold a work session on Tuesday, September 10th, 2024 at 4 p.m. here in the public meeting room. It will be followed by a business meeting at 6:30 p.m. If there's no further business, we need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Madam Clerk, would you call roll on the motion?
Dominique Chatters.
Gosh.
Aye.
Stephen Peranto.
Aye.
Lisa Hudgens.
Aye.
Ann Coker.
Aye.
Dot Heffron.
Aye. The motion carries. The August 13, 2024 school board business meeting is adjourned.